Hi ladies and gentlemen, this is me, Makalasi. Thank you for looking at my station. Today I would like to do a video. I've had a couple requests about some more Anunnaki information, and I had people who specifically wanted to hear more about the immortal societies. So I thought this video would be really good because it can cover both topics in one hit. So in this video I'm going to talk about more about the Council of Immortals, which you guys have heard in my other video. I'm going to talk about the new Avalon, which is a manifestation of four Anunnakis, and then I'm going to talk about an East African immortal society run by Roman. So today I'm going to cover three immortal societies and a connection between them and a history, so therefore you guys could understand. So I have a lot to cover, so let's begin. So before I talk about this the new Avalon, I kind of had to go back into the story of Enki and Enlil being on the planet. Because if you see my video, they were on this planet, but all the Anunnakis had to leave because there was going to be a quarantine placed over the planet. Now, if you haven't watched my video, what the quarantine was, it was basically a shield that they placed over the planet, which was an evolutionary planet of ours called Earth, so therefore the humans on Earth could go ahead and evolve to their fullest potential. And by putting this quarantine, no one could interfere with their evolution. So that was happening. But before that happened, the Anunnakis had to leave. So before leaving, they went ahead and left 12 Anunnakis on the solar system. Now, 8 of the 12 went to the moons of Jupiter. There's currently 3 to 4 moons that Anunnakis occupy, and 4 of them actually stayed on Earth. 4 full-blooded Anunnaki stayed on Earth. Now, realize this was a very long time ago. So what happened was with those 4 Anunnakis, they obviously grew in population and became bigger. And when they became bigger, they created their own immortal society, which was called the New Avalon. So currently, the New Avalon is very multicultural. It's not just Anunnaki, but originated from 4 Anunnakis. Now, to tell you a little bit more about New Avalon, it's a very highly advanced technology city where it's interdimensional, so it's not physical like us in the third dimensional, it's of the higher realm. So it's a very high realm and very hard to get into, that a lot of immortals cannot get to it. It's very hard to get in there. And the way you get in there is you kind of have to access certain doorways that are placed around the planet. And one of the major doorways are in Scotland. And what they did with their technology is they were very advanced, that they understood how to do teleportation and shifting technology. And basically what that means is if someone comes in a third dimensional body, like right now, and I walked into it, it can teleport or shift my energy to the frequency that resides on the realm that they're at. Now, a lot of people say that Shambhala is nowhere as powerful as New Avalon, because New Avalon is so powerful that the whole city can actually leave like a ship and leave the planet, where Shambhala is basically wouldn't be able to do that. So basically that's what New Avalon is, a very powerful city of immortals that not too many people knew. And basically the only people who knew about New Avalon was the Council of Immortals. Now, if you see my videos, the Council of Immortals was a very powerful immortal group on the planet. And what happened was they had this deal where they would take Messiah seeds out of the general public. Now, if you see my videos, you know that Messiah seeds are basically humans who were born with a high level of chi in their DNA, so they have the potential to be very powerful spiritual beings. So to keep the status quo of the Matrix, the Council of Immortals would intentionally take out level 4 Messiah seed, which is the highest level, out of society to not disrupt the general public. So the Council of Immortals made an alliance with the New Avalon, and the New Avalon said, I want to go ahead and take the level 4 Messiah seeds out with you guys, but we want to take only the black ones, and we want them to be a part of our society. So that was the agreement. The COI would take people out and level 4 Messiah seeds, and what happened was New Avalon would only take the black ones, and from that consistently growed until they became a very powerful, big immortal society. But of course, only the COI knew about it, the Council of Immortal. Until one day in the 1940s, after the World War II, they made contact with a mortal group of Jewish people. And what happened was they made contact, They had an agreement, they had an alliance, but what happened was a separate third immortal group, which is the East African immortal group that was ruled by women, found out about New Avalon. Of course, naturally, this made them really upset because they never knew of their existence, and because this East African immortal group was very, very powerful, and they were so powerful to the fact that they were probably considered one of the most powerful immortal groups on the planet. And they were so powerful that they actually made deals with Dark Lords, they also usually make deals with the Illuminati, and they were very powerful in that sense. So when they found out about the New Avalon, that really made them upset because they first of all, they didn't know about him, and second of all, because their numbers were so big, because they kept taking level 4 messiases and making them into their general public. Now also, this East African immortal group ran by women really kind of went with the philosophy of Enlil, where the New Avalon kind of went with the philosophy of Enki. So of course there goes the two rivalries of the brother. So just like any other, conflict, a war was waged. And so you had the East African immortal group going against the New Avalon. The Council of Immortals didn't want anything to do with it. They took themselves out. And what happened was it was very bloody. The New Avalons were really messy, not messy, but they kind of caused a lot of bloodshed, which made the Council of Immortal very uncomfortable. So what happened was, obviously, the East African immortal group was a lot more powerful, so the New Avalon really had to figure out a way to combat them. So what they did is, with their technology of teleportation and of shifting, they were able to thin out the quarantine just enough to escape and send a beam out. And what they did is they went to Jupiter, where their brothers and sisters were. So in the moons of Jupiter, they basically told them what happened. They said, hey, we got in a conflict, we need to know what's going on. So from there, being one of the first immortal groups to break the quarantine, they went to Jupiter and they talked to the Enki's group in Orion. And from there, Enki decided what he was going to do is he was going to try to shift the power or enhance the power of the triads, which is a very, it's kind of like the Illuminati of Asia. It's triads. It's like the Illuminati version in Asia. So by giving them a little bit more power, it will balance out the Illuminatis. So when that happened, they tried to also shift the power into Asia, so therefore they can balance the playing field. So what happened was it did work. The triads did balance out the Illuminatis, and now all you have was the New Avalon, the East African immortals, and the Dark Lords. And so currently that's basically what's happening. There's two different immortal groups. They're kind of in conflict, working behind the scenes. There's a battle for who's going to come out to the mortals with this information. What was the fear of the East African immortal group was that if New Avalon came out with information of Enki, they can basically take over the mortal societies with this information, where the East African didn't really want the information to be out to mortals because everything's usually behind the curtains. So basically that's what's happening. A quick overview. 12 Anunnakis was left on Earth. 8 went to the moons of Jupiter. 4 stayed on Earth. The 4 that stayed on Earth made their own little immortal group, which was called the New Avalon. The New Avalon made an alliance with the Council of Immortals by taking level 4 messiases out of the population and putting them into their little population. That made their New Avalon expand. They made an alliance with some Jewish people, and then what happened is that kind of got the attention of some East African immortal group run by women, which caused a battle and a fight. This caused the New Avalon to go up to Jupiter and talk with the Enki's group in Orion. They came down and tried to balance the playing field by shifting some power to Asia, and that's where they're currently at. Now, there's a lot to talk about, but in conjunction with New Avalon, they have their own type of CIA, type of little secret society on top of that, which is called the Architects. So if you guys are interested, I will go ahead and tell you more about the Architects, who's in conjunction with the New Avalon. But that's my quick video. I hope you guys like it, and I'll see you in my next.